Single-use aerosols are commonly used for brake cleaning, carburetor cleaning, lubricating, engine degreasing, or as penetrant. Most of the ingredients in aerosols are petroleum-based, including some that are volatile and/or hazardous to human health and the environment. Some volatile chemicals common in aerosols contribute to smog formation. In addition, carbon dioxide and isobutane are common propellants in auto aerosols and both contribute to global warming. Finally, single-use can waste piles up quickly, and to be recycled, it must be fully emptied and punctured. Partially full aerosol cans are considered hazardous waste and must be disposed of separately. A great way to reduce can waste is refillable aerosol spray systems. These reusable cans are pressurized with compressed air, not chemical propellants. And compared to single-use aerosols and purchasing solvent in bulk, refillables can save money. Unlike standard single-use aerosol cans, which typically go to waste after their contents are used, refillable options can be reused numerous times, making them a more sustainable choice. This video will explore the benefits of refillable containers and best practices for use. Before we start talking more about refillable systems, it's always good to use the least toxic and lowest VOC solvent product that gets the job done. Some aerosol solvents may be replaceable altogether with aqueous or bio-based parts cleaning systems. Take a look at our parts cleaning module for more info on this. Another advantage of refillables is that you can control what solvent product you use. When selecting a solvent to use in refillable systems, always avoid chlorinated solvents like perchloroethylene or any solvent that has ingredients with the letters CHLOR and any ingredient name. Other solvent ingredients of concern are methanol, toluene, xylene, and benzene-containing compounds. Solvents that are rated 50-SAY compliant are typically safer and will be low volatility, therefore not contributing to smog formation like high volatile content solvents. EcoBiz staff can help you identify safer alternatives. Now let's get back to refillable spray bottle systems and some best practices. For solvents, the refillable cans must be metal. Refillable sizes run between the typical single-use size of 16 ounces to as large as 32 ounces. A larger can means less frequent refilling, but also may be a little heavier and potentially a little harder to maneuver. Different nozzles are available to optimize the spray pattern for the job at hand, ranging from a focused, direct stream to a wider pattern or more of a mist. Nozzle extensions are also available. Most cans are quite simple by design and can be pressurized using shop compressed air. Specific automatic air refill machines are also available, and some are refillable only by using the exact equipment designed for a particular can. Refillable spray bottles will be used if they are as convenient for workers as aerosol cans, so therefore provide enough cans so they are easily accessible and operators don't have to wait until someone else is done using a can. Keep replacement parts on hand. Small, inexpensive parts such as nozzle seals, filler caps, valves, and nozzles may deteriorate with repeated use and pressurization. Water can condense in the air compressor tanks that are used to pressurize refillables. Water in the shop air lines may cause corrosion in some steel refillable spray bottles. Ensure that your shop air supply has water removal capability or the pressure is periodically fully released. Keep the cans in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight or extreme temperatures to preserve their integrity. Train your staff on these usage and refilling best practices. Train staff to use the minimal amount of solvent needed for a cleaning task, even if they have access to a larger container or frequent refills. Do a quick inspection and replace any cans that show wear, damage, or leakage. When releasing the air valve to avoid the remaining contents, don't inhale the released air. Wearing a respirator is a good idea to avoid breathing any residual fumes. Unless the container is fully emptied and clean, only refill with the same solvent. Avoid product losses and spills during refilling by using a funnel and refill liquids over a drip pan or secondary containment. Between refills, clean the nozzle and interior according to the manufacturer's recommendations to prevent clogging and buildup. Follow the manufacturer's instructions, filling to their recommended fill level and leaving space for adding the air. Most cans are filled with solvent to about 3/4 full and then pressurized to the exact specifications in pounds per square inch. After filling, ensure all tamper-evident devices and one-way valves are intact. Follow all PPE instructions for the particular solvent and have all solvent SDSs stored near the filling station. Each refillable container must be durably marked, uniquely identified. For example, can number 1, 2, 3, etc., and include the solvent product name or type and dates of each refill. For each refill, use a tracking log to record the date, container number, and material you are refilling with. Refillable containers reduce can waste, allow for the purchase of safer solvent products than are available in off-the-shelf aerosols, reduce the release of global warming propellants, and save money by buying solvents in bulk. Using safer solvents and potentially reducing solvent use and spills can help prevent hazardous chemicals from entering storm systems and local waterways. Reach out to an EcoBiz staff member for further technical assistance.